Well, hello and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. Thanks for being with us. On this Wednesday, February 8th, 2017, I'm Pete Connor, your host, and I think we've got a great show for you today, very informative, a couple of diverse things to talk about. First, we'll have Detective Christian Berg from the Owatonna Police Department, who is going to tell us about the problem of retail theft and some things that I'm really interested in knowing about. And then we'll have Mark Woodrich, who will be coming in to speak about Concert Club, also something that I would like to know about. As a reminder, we would appreciate your input as to what you'd like to see on this program for show topics and guests. Do you know of a special event that's coming forward that would be good to have on, or do you have a person that you think needs some recognition for some work that they've done? If you have that, please contact us either by emailing us at owatonnatoday@charter.net or by calling the show's producer, Leanne T, at 390-5751. And now we're going to take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with Detective Christian Berg. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
When using a fire extinguisher, we suggest using the pass system. Pull the pin at the top of the extinguisher that keeps the handle from being accidentally pressed. Aim the nozzle toward the base of the fire. Squeeze the handle to discharge the extinguisher. If you release the handle, the discharge will stop. Sweep the nozzle back and forth at the base of the fire. After the fire appears to be out, watch it carefully since it may reignite. If you have the slightest doubt about whether or not to fight the fire, get out and close the door behind you. This has been a safety message from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, I'm Betsy Linger from the Owatonna Foundation. Your generosity has made Owatonna a better place to live by benefiting our community, the arts, recreation, and education. Please consider a donation today. The Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Well, welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and a big welcome to Detective Christian Berg. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you. Retail theft, has some historical sounds, but there's also some current and almost future sounds to retail theft, just from what I've picked up from you before the show.
Yep.
Obviously, retail theft is people stealing from retail
establishments.
Yeah.
Yep. In our community.
Right.
And bottom line, it affects our community, quality of life, cost of goods, and so forth.
Yeah. So, and I would assume, I think rightly, that we've had shoplifting, because that's retail theft. It's been going on forever.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. We have.
But there are some iterations to that. There's new ways of how this is happening, and I know you've had some stories that you can tell us about how that is today, or
Right.
can be today.
Right. So just a brief flyover. I've worked as a police officer with the Owatonna Police Department since 2011. Our city is broken down for law enforcement purposes in 3 districts. We have the North, the South, and the West Central District. The West Central District of the city encompasses mostly retail. So you have more of our large retailers such as Cabela's, Walmart, Target, Fleet Farm, and a majority of our gas stations. When I was working patrol, I felt that it was important to bid West Central District to put that face of community policing on there, to be the same officer that people got comfortable with. Likewise, having most of our retail establishments in the West Central District, we saw a lot of thefts, a lot of frauds, identity thefts, credit card frauds, all that happening. And so it really opened my eyes to what was happening out in retail and out in the community. I was assigned as a detective in back in August 2016. And what we did from there is started a monthly newsletter, which we've called Portal, or Preventing Organized Retail Theft and Area Loss. In those newsletters, we will include information such as every month's shoplifters, information for retailers to be on the lookout for, different trends in thefts and different suspects that we're looking to identify.
Does that newsletter go to only retail establishments, or is that widely distributed?
It's distributed widely in southern Minnesota amongst law enforcement and regionally here between retailers, loss prevention, store security.
Okay. Help us to know about the kind of sophistication of retail theft that we're seeing today.
I'm sure that when we talk about retail theft, everyone automatically thinks shoplifters, just the kids that go into the store, steal a couple packs of baseball cards or gum, whatever, and then leave. And it's much more beyond that. And what we're seeing is more sophisticated groups, specifically what we'll address as organized retail crime, organized retail theft. These groups are, for all intent and purposes, professionals. They're professional thieves, professional boosters. They will go into a retail establishment. They will steal items, and those items will range anywhere from a simple item like Tide laundry detergent, all the way up from baby formula, cell phones, electric toothbrushes, binoculars, things that get really pricey. From there, they will either turn around and sell those items on the street, or they can sell them more sophisticated, like online sales, or they will work with like a physical fencing location, which is someone who will take in stolen goods and then sell them as legitimate items in their store.
Yeah. Now, I'm thinking when I walk into, let's say, a big box, and it doesn't matter which one it happens to be, is that, I just have to look up and I can see that's kind of cloudy looking ball, which I know inside of that is a camera, security camera.
Right, the eye in the sky.
Okay. So obviously these folks know that that's there. How do they think they're going to defeat that?
They have different methods for how they're going to go about that. These people know that they're being watched by store security. Developments in technology has led us to have great surveillance systems in different stores. But it doesn't deter most of these professionals who go out and target these establishments. A lot of your organized retail crime rings are going to be from out of the area. So when you have these out of the area, out of the state groups that target different retail establishments, let's just say one big box store without putting a name on it.
Yeah, sure.
So one group from out of state will target one big box store. And they will target all those big box stores, let's say, within a 3-state radius. And they have a way that they do business. So they will have, it's kind of similar to how like a rank and structure for like a police department or military would work. They have their top command, they have their middle management, and then they have their smurfs or their runners. So these runners are going to go in and they know their job. They know that they're going to target, let's say, for example, cell phones. So they're going to go in, they know exactly what they're going to do. They work the same way every single time. They have lookouts, they have the drivers, they go in, they target the cell phones, they scoop them up, out the door they go, and then they turn around and bring those to middle management. Middle management will then liquidate that, like we talked about before, through online sales, sales on the street, or fencing locations, and then that money goes to the top management. So it doesn't deter them. It makes it a little bit more difficult for law enforcement to identify someone who's not from our area. When you work as a police officer in a community for so long, you get to know the people who live and work in your community. It's a little bit different when you have people from out of state. And luckily, what we've done is formed a law enforcement response back in 2009, 2010. They incorporated what was called the TC ORCA, or Twin Cities Organized Retail Crime Investigators Association. And that is open for everyone that is in law enforcement or retail from western Wisconsin to the great state of Minnesota.
I just think the employment thing. I mean, this is not
for
a
sure.
job we're going to see on Monster. For someone to go in and shoplift and get the stuff. And what I assume is that what they would be hoping for is that they can move up the ladder to become the so-called middleman and ultimately maybe have their own business, so to say, going down the line.
Could be. It's all about making money. It's all about the money.
Capitalism.
Yep. And back in 2009, the FBI did a congressional report that showed that it ranges anywhere, organized retail theft and organized retail crime affects the United States anywhere from $25 to $30 billion a year.
Yeah. And of course, it impacts us as consumers because a loss is going to get paid for somehow, right? I mean,
right. Yep. So we're going to see that as kind of a quality of life thing.
Sure.
We have the people that steal in this community, then we'll have the price of the goods go up. Also, it puts a burden on law enforcement and the courts to prosecute these crimes. Puts a burden on law enforcement because when we are responding to shoplifters, we're taking an active unit who's patrolling the road, driving through the community looking for the things and being that face, and now responding and having to be at that retail location.
Yeah. Tell us about one particular case where the individual was very successful and what that meant to him personally.
Sure. To kind of give you an example of organized retail crime that we've investigated here in the past, a couple of years back, we had an individual who was from out of state, very sophisticated on how they ran their operation. It was called box stuffing. So that is the operation that he ran, and what he would do is he would target a big box store that was a multi-state store. He would go into the store, dressed very nice to the hilt. He would select a box like a toaster oven. He'd open up the toaster oven, take it out, and then he would stack it with electric toothbrushes to fit that in the box. And each box would contain about $1,300 worth of electric toothbrushes. He would then seal it all up with the same type of seal tape that big box store would use, make it look like the box hadn't been altered at all. And he'd put it back up on the display, but he would turn it in such a way that the person that he was working with or the crew that he was working with would be able to come into the store a couple days later, locate that box that was tilted in the display, take that out, and then they would buy that box. So they would buy this toaster oven for about $40. They would walk out with it being stuffed with $1,300 in toothbrushes.
But no, this is in the same building that has all of these, the eyes in the sky. How is he doing that?
They're very sophisticated. They know what they're doing. These people are professionals. They know the dark areas for surveillance. They know how to move about the store. They can tell, they like to walk in and kind of survey the area first. Figure out who store security is, or how they're being watched, what their type of response is if they think someone's stealing in the store. And they just kind of work from there. It's a very sophisticated effort.
Your efforts then, are bearing fruit. Obviously, in this case, you caught that individual.
Yep.
And he did some time, I suppose, and whatever else. And,
Yep. And to give you like a dollar amount or an idea, over a 6-month time span, this individual made $40,000 in this crime spree.
Wow.
Yep. And in the last 2 days alone, did about $13,000 in damage in the state of Minnesota.
And that's something. So you are, and of course your colleagues in other communities are really, can we say you're making a dent in this type of operation? Does the word get out that, Owatonna's kind of a tough place to do this because they got some good people?
Absolutely. So what we've done as a law enforcement response is we've upped our effort for communication. And that's with the public, that's with retailers, and that's also amongst law enforcement ourselves.
Wonderful. I think it's wonderful that we have, and unfortunately, we have to have people like you doing what you, because there are other things you could be doing with your time as a police officer. Not to say that they're any more or less important, but that you are doing this and that you are making a dent. And I think on behalf of all of us who live in Owatonna, thank you for and the department for doing what it is doing in this endeavor. We appreciate that.
Thank you. So just to throw it out there, we do put out a monthly newsletter for retailers. I would encourage any retailer that is watching the show today to contact me by my email, which is located underneath my name and phone number. And send me your information. We'll get you put on the newsletter. It's great information on who's active in our area, who's been caught, what we're looking for, and different kinds of crime trends that are currently going on from the city.
Excellent. Thanks again for being here with us.
Thank you.
Right. And please stay with us. We're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hi, my name is Ryan Gillespie with Bremer Bank Mortgage. By trusting your home loan needs to Bremer Bank, you are guaranteed a personalized, straightforward, and honest experience from application to closing. We look forward to guiding you through your next home purchase or refinance.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job, so I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today. Since 1988, the Owatonna Area Business Development Center has been the part of the success of many area businesses. The center leases office space and manufacturing space and offers on-site business consulting. The Owatonna Area Business Development Center is in business to help your business be a success.
Hi, I'm Tim Anderson, the owner of Anytime Fitness, where we make getting healthy affordable and convenient. Anytime Fitness is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
I'm Dan Branstead of Carlson Branstead and Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Well, welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. We've got Mark Woodrich with us, who is going to talk to us about Concert Club in Owatonna. I've known Mark for quite a long time. I suppose he's a kind of a man around town. Most people do. Woody.
Hi,
everybody.
Pete.
Yeah. Woody, nice to see you. Nice to have you here. And I was thinking to myself when we knew of him coming, a Concert Club, it said this is not his first rodeo trying to promote some kind of entertainment in town. So welcome, and let's hear about just exactly what your latest venture is all about.
Thank you. Thanks for remembering that. Yeah, I started off in life when I left Owatonna years ago. Before I came back, I set out in life to be go into the music business and do something in promotion of music, and I'm a music lover, and whether that was concert promotion or promoting, working for a record company, it could have been anything when I was younger, but I set out in life to do that, and I really liked doing that, and I did that for a long time. I did work in the music business, but that all changed. The music industry changed a lot over the years, so you have to adjust in life.
Sure.
And so I did other things for a long time, and then many years ago I moved back to Owatonna, and they had built the band shell down in Central Park, and I thought, wow, what a neat thing. Let's start doing concerts in the park. And so I did that for a while and kind of laid off that, and then I just kind of decided I want to do it again here.
So you're spinning around that whole business now. Just for the record, I mean, if you were connected the way you would like to be when you were younger and with your passion the way it was, you could probably have made it big, as they say, in music promotion. But that didn't happen. So you're back in town and you're a realtor in your so-called day job.
Mm-hmm. Yep, my day job is a real estate agent, the R.A. Gillespie Real Estate.
Right.
And
one of our valued sponsors, I might say.
Thank you. Yeah. Yep. My wife Stephanie and I are our partners in that. We're known as Team Woodrich, and we're pretty successful at it. I hope. Some days we're good. Some days are just the nature of that kind of business.
Exactly.
But I have my passions. We all want to do other things too.
Right.
So
So
that's
here
what
you
I'm
are.
going for here.
We're talking about Concert Club, and it is not necessarily a spin-off of other things that you've done. Something completely new.
No, it's completely new. If it's a spin-off of anything, it's a spin-off or an expansion of. Now, they've, at the History Center and at the Art Center over the years, they've had what they call the Americana Music Showcases. And I am not involved with that, but I'm a fan of those concerts and have been to the majority of them. And I've always said, I'd like to expand on this, maybe see more of these. I think the audience is there. I mean, I'm one of the audience members, and I talk to people, and they say, boy, I wish this was happening more often.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know how often it's going to happen, but maybe more often than it was happening. So I started looking around for the right venue or the right theater, and came upon Pillsbury. I knew they had a couple of buildings there, and I looked around, and I found the old library building called Jefts Hall. And we looked around and said, boy, amazing. This is perfect for the type of music that I want to do. This is more adult-oriented, quiet, acoustic, Americana-type music. It's not going to be loud, or it's going to be a nice setting.
When you talk about Americana music, we can talk about country, we can talk about rock and roll, or some of the oldies, that type of thing. Define Americana.
Well, Americana is a pretty wide category. It's sort of I don't know, that's a new category. It's always been sort of a category. I'm a person who doesn't like to categorize. I just like to call things music. Is it good? Yeah. That's what I like to know. Americana is maybe more acoustic based, or not rock and roll, folk music based, I guess. Singer-songwriter, based on harmony and singing, and a lot of country. Okay. The headliners I have for the first concert are probably if they had to categorize them in any way, maybe they lean towards the country or folk genre.
Sure. But country's changed
exactly
over time too. It isn't the twangy kind of sound of the 50s and 40s and 60s and so forth. It's changed quite a lot.
True. Actually, the opening act for my first concert is more of a twangy country. Wow. So country these days on the radio is more like rock and roll sounds like rock and roll from the 70s or something like that. But I don't want to talk too much about categories other than I like music, and I like to see it in a live setting.
Where are you finding your acts? The ones that you've got coming up here. And what, by the way, is let's get that out so that we are. If I can just grab
if you could hold up the poster, that'd be
maybe
wonderful.
Leanne can get a tight shot of it. And these will be around. Maybe they're around already.
They're around town, and I've got a Facebook page called Concert Club Owatonna. It's on Facebook, and there's all kinds of postings on the internet all over.
So we have the Dusty Heart. Where are you finding these acts?
Where I'm finding these acts is Dusty Heart is a group that I saw, I knew about, where I could tell the story of so I told you I want to expand on the Americana showcases that they have here. Well, last year they had a group play the Americana showcase, and that was a person who played in Owatonna, who is a touring act who plays kind of all over. So several months after that, I noticed that person was playing in Minneapolis at a theater there. So I went up there, and the opening act for that group was Dusty Heart. And Dusty Heart was a great, it was a duo of two ladies, and their music was wonderful. And I thought, boy, why weren't they the opening act in Owatonna?
Sure.
Let's get them in Owatonna. So I thought, well, they could be on the list. And so in my history of knowing where to look, you reach out to, you look on the internet. Yeah. There's booking agents out there who book. So you just contact people and say, I've got this thing in Owatonna, and I know that these groups play places like Owatonna. So you just pitch your ideas, and they say, yeah. So all of a sudden I had 3 great lineups without really even trying too hard.
Yeah.
So
that's great. Well, I think as always, the first one will be a great acid test to see how it's going to go in terms of audience, and but in spite of that, you probably are looking to number 2 already.
We need date, time, and place on this one first.
Okay. Very well. Let's take a look at that. Date, time, and place?
Date, time, and place on the first one is Friday, February 24th. It's at Jefts Hall, which is the old library building at Pillsbury College Prep and Camp. So that address is 350 East Academy Street. Okay. It's at 7:30 on that Friday night. Tickets are available online. You can go onto our Facebook page, and then there's a link to there to buy tickets online, or you can buy them from my office at ERA Gillespie Real Estate downtown, or right at the door the night of the concert. The word on the street so far is pretty good. I think people are happy to hear this is coming.
Good. And again, you'll hope that it will be a continuing enterprise, and then it'll go on. You'll probably sign off for the summer months, and then come back fall time and get on it again. Yep,
my hope is to do it for the next 3 months, and I might do one in May. I have to see how the first 3 go before I get too far ahead and book a 4th. But the plan is to make this a regular series, an ongoing series from the fall through the winter into the spring of each year, using the library building, using Jefts Hall.
Sure.
They've got a theater at Pillsbury, which is a little bigger. If we outgrow that, we may start using the theater.
Excellent.
If we need a bigger venue, looking at that too.
Sure.
But hopefully it'll be once a month as an ongoing thing, except for this. There's a lot going on in the summers. There's a lot to compete with in the summers. And I always feel like there's just not much going on in the winters. Let's get more going on in the winters here. So.
Well, I wish you the best, and hope that it's going to be a success, and that sometime down the line we'll have you back, and you can tell us about all those successes.
Could I mention one thing? There's drinks available for adults, beer and wine. That's one thing people want to see at a setting like this. So that will be available on site. So it'll be a great night. All ages are welcome, though.
Okay. Best wishes.
Thank you.
And thanks for staying with us. We'll be right back after some sponsor messages.
Great.
Cedar Valley Services, located at the corner of Rose and Grove in Owatonna, provides an array of services for people with disabilities in Steele County. CVS thanks the entire community, especially our business customers, for supporting us in Owatonna for 43 years. Thank you from CVS.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. We've got some announcements for you. Allina Health is implementing restricted visitor guidelines at all its hospitals to protect all patients, visitors, and staff due to influenza. Children under the age of 5 are asked not to visit patients, and visitors who are sick should refrain from visiting patients in the hospital. At all times, please cover your cough, and please wash your hands or use antibacterial hand cleanser that is provided throughout all of our facilities. The Steele County Historical Society is holding the Language of Love Candlelight Tour of the Donnell House on Tuesday, February 14th. Each guest will receive a complimentary appetizers and a bottle of champagne. A cash bar will also be available. Doors open at 5:30. The first tour begins at 6 with tours every 15 minutes. Tickets are $35 per person and are available online at Eventbrite. Owatonna Forward invites the community to share their vision for Owatonna at public input sessions being held at the Owatonna Public Utilities Morehouse Room on Wednesday, February 15th at 6 to 7:15 p.m. and Tuesday, February 21st, noon to 1:15 p.m. DIY night, youth night for Habitat for Humanity will be on February 17th, 6 to 7:30 in the old Walmart building. It will be an opportunity for kids to come to learn how to build things, and it's a great thing. It's a great event for Steele Waseca Habitat for Humanity. Around the World Food and Brew Fest, a joint event with Culture Fest and Steele County Historical Society, will be held Friday, February 17th, 2017 at the Steele County History Center from 5 to 10 p.m. Sample foods from 9 different countries and judge home brews from 9 different brewers. Tickets are $25 each, and you must be 21 to attend. Tickets are available at the History Center, Kotke's, and Triumph Graphics. Well, that does it for our show today. Please tune in on Friday when Mike Jensen will be with us to talk about Culture Fest. And then Laura Ressler from the Owatonna Foundation will bring us an update on foundation activities. Take care, and I hope to see you back here on Friday.